Welcome to the Royal Gypsyhood. My name is Rafamama, coming to you live, center stage, here to give you, your essential oils for this current transit. Now, wouldn't you know it, as soon as I grabbed my book, I read a lot. I gravitate toward things naturally. I forget the details sometimes, so I still have to go back and validate myself and look up things that I already know. That's what I tend to do. That's the Virgoisms, right? And especially when things are constantly flowing and changing for you, right? When you don't get stuck in the same rut, the same routine, it's like an antibiotic that will no longer work, right? Because you've abused it, overused it. So anyhow, for this particular transit, we have Mars in Pisces that's squaring the sun in Sagittarius and squaring the Gemini full moon. Now, of course, I naturally, okay, so I posted on my Instagram. Please follow me, Rafa Mantra on Instagram. If you type Rafamama, I'm sure it'll come up too. But anyhow, I started to light my incense, and I love my incense. I'm always burning incense. Well, as I did that, I realized, the message for this Gemini full moon is just breathe, right? We're breathing, we're digesting, we're processing, we're eliminating waste so that we can become lighter, right? And actually ascend into, that Sagittarius, Jupiter, new illumination sun in Sagittarius conjuncting both Jupiter and Mercury retrograde. All right. So with that being said, now what are the players here? We have Mars, we have Sagittarius sun and Gemini. And I opened my book and the pen was already there to clove oil, which the astrological signs associated are Aries. Uranus is in Aries retrograde as well. And even though Mars is actually in Pisces, but Aries is playing a huge role here. And we have Chiron that is retrograde, which is the wounded soldier energy archetype, is retrograde in Pisces, but it's going to be coming back into Aries. It's already been in Aries, right? So this is a very pivotal point. And so anyhow, the astrological associations for clove oil, first of all, it's strength. It represents strength. And the planets associated are Jupiter, Mars, and Mercury, okay? The astrological signs associated are Aries, Gemini, and Sagittarius. I do specialize in creating these blends if you would like a custom blend made for you. I also do have blends that I have already created for each of the zodiac signs. However, I think it's also important to go by the transits, right? So I light my incense and I'm just like, breathe, right? It's time to fill up your water in the diffuser and put in your essential oils, because hydrate your lungs, bring oxygen deep into them, right? Not just through air, but also through water and through the molecules of these God-given, creator-given, source-given plants, right? That really genuinely heal our DNA, our cells, It's not a myth. It's not a myth. It's not just a placebo effect, okay? Although it does have its Venus type quality, characteristics that we can also enjoy about our plant medicine, and healing process. So anyhow, clove oil is one of the oils that I had put in the diffuser today. The On Guard blend is what I used. Now, I used doTERRA. I am not biased. It is the equivalent to like Thieves with Young Living. What's in here is clove, of course. Now, I knew instinctually that clove had, you know, associations with Jupiter as well, and with Sagittarius, but this is a really great immune booster. And I have been using it because I can tell definitely with the heat, right? And putting the furnace on, it's affecting my water body. It's drying me out, right? With the, you know, the winter here and the changing of the climate. So it's important to be proactive. And I've been using this not just in my diffuser, not FDA approved. I put a couple drops in my throat as well. Because I have a Taurus moon, okay? We're talking about water body, but Taurus represents my moon is here in my throat. So I get dry. Anyhow, what else is in here is cinnamon. It's also eucalyptus leaf, rosemary, wild orange. And I think that's it. So I put this in my diffuser, but I also put this basil in there as well. I think the bottle's over there. And I'll touch base on that in a little bit. I chose that one because it's great for migraines, okay? Head. Now, in the past few weeks, I've been using ylang ylang and basil especially, right? With some peppermint. And it just instantaneously, I had a couple drops of clary sage in there. It instantaneously took away a migraine. It was like amazing, miraculous, like all through inhalation, right? But you're also getting the moisture of, you know, and it's like 100 times, 1,000 times more potent than just the plant alone because it's been extracted and it's condensed, you know, quality when you're using essential oils. So it's very powerful what it does to the air all around us, but it's also very powerful to what it does to our cells as we breathe it in. So here we go. Well, my point was too, that was then. Now with this transit, we're switching it up a little bit, right? I'm still keeping, you know, and I might go back to ylang ylang, but, you know, I'm not feeling instinctually led to it anymore. I'm keeping the basil, but I'm using the On Guard, okay? I'm going with the clove. The affirmation for clove oil. And it's important that we heal ourselves both through, you know, vibration, right? Through singing, through dance, through movement, right? Because you want your water body to flow. But it's also important to feed yourself through your mind, right? Gemini, with the oral affirmations. I am strong. My inner core is powerful. I have the courage to set boundaries with love and grace. I am protected from negative energy. Experiences from the past empower me. Creativity flows through me in myriad ways. I am courageous. I bring my ideas into actuality. There's stones associated here and whatnot, but, you know, I'm not going to go into that right now. Well, I do want to look up basil. And then I'm going to pull out the other book that talks about the medicinal properties. We have to treat ourselves holistically, mind, body, spirit. Creative clarity, okay? Again, clarity is all about that, you know, mind, mental activity. the electricity that fires up, you know, in our brain, Gemini. However, oh, it's interesting. Astrological sign is Leo and the sun. So we're bringing the sun into this, even though the sun is in Sagittarius. Creative clarity, okay? I am the ruler of my kingdom. I express my personal power with grace. I have clarity. If I become distracted, I easily refocus my efforts. I see life from the greater perspective. Gemini, to the greater perspective, from the elementary to the higher education, from the greater perspective. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius sun. Conjuncting, being illuminated by the moon and expanded by Jupiter. If I become distracted, like Tigger the tiger can easily do, I easily refocus my efforts. I see life from the greater perspective. I am safe. I am sound. I am safe. I am sound. Now, there are other oils. I forgot, I think there is lemon in here as well. Maybe no lemon. Maybe it's only orange. And I'm not going to look all of those up right now. But you see how with the transits, the blends that help to heal us, right, on a cellular level, they remain mutable. They mutate, you know, they change. Okay. Now, I do want to look up, matter of fact, there was an article I was reading that was very interesting. Oh, this is not going by the oil. This one is going by the ailment. I know that there's one that goes just by the oil, right? Okay, well, here's a just summary. Clove is an antioxidant. It brings oxygen. It helps to bring extra oxygen. It's like when you are diffusing, you know, okay, you have your regular oxygen that you breathe that's all around us, and sometimes it's contaminated. And we're able to purify it with the healing oils, right? However, when you're breathing it in as well, it's helping to bring an additional like dose. It's like hooking up to that oxygen machine almost, right? But you have these like holistic properties that are involved there. Anyhow, clove is an antifungal, an antioxidant, an antiviral. It even works topically on things like corns. Hypothyroidism, okay, the glands, and on a toothache, it's a numbing agent. Therefore, helping with pain, right? Then we have basil. Now, basil helps with autism. Imagine that. I didn't know that. But I could see how creative clarity, okay, the other book said basil represented creative clarity. therefore clearing the mind, right? Through creativity. It helps with bronchitis, again, tying in the lungs and Gemini. It helps with earaches, cramps, spasms, the muscles, bug bites, and wounds. Well, I know that it helps with migraines too. This was just a quick summary. So anyhow, I felt that that was important because I think I've probably been breathing in too much smoke lately, even though I love my incense. I absolutely love my Nag Champa. And Spirit today led me back to my essential oils, you know, which I use on a regular, consistent basis anyways. I feel like I'm constantly being healed by them, using them, you know, absorbing them in my hands, especially, you know, that I work with them, doing my body work and doing orthopedic massage and Reiki. It's a blessing, but also because I use them so regularly, of course, I have to change the formula, right? And I have to flow with, be in tune with, and in harmony with the energies that are, you know, transiting and how they affect my body, my, not only my physical body, but my water body and my spiritual body, my energetic body, you know, the nervous system, all of it, all of it. So yeah, I think that we are so far disconnected from these really basic, essential tools that are given to us by Spirit, or by Creator, Source, that are here on the planet for us to use. And I want to share my methods, you know, what works for me. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and do a tarot reading for today, for the collective, for the Gemini moon. I will be doing readings by the signs as well, again, this weekend here. It's important to not only like do your research and go by the book knowledge, but it's even more important that when you have that as your base information, your elementary foundation, right? You are able to take it to another level and instinctually flow on an as needed basis, you know, through that information skyway. You know, that even if you may not be the expert in that specific thing, you are the expert in you, right? And you are the expert when it comes to, you know, feeling, navigating through the energies. So here we go. Spirit, I just thank you for a word, a message for the collective regarding this Gemini full moon and the squares with Mars. Okay, the Six of Cups comes up. The Three of Swords in reverse. The Four of Cups in reverse. We're seeking something new. The same old, you know, repetitive, you know, things that we have this almost like nostalgic type of longing and drawing toward them. You know, it just has brought us pain that we're healing from at this time. And that I want to say that, you know, we're at this healing point. Therefore, it has gotten old, right? It has gotten boring. It is no longer, you know, striking our chords the way that it once did. The Five of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Wands, and the Five of Swords. So here we go, the Five of Cups in reverse. Okay, right under the Six of Cups. The Five of Cups is coming to a place of looking at the cups that are already, that are left standing, you know. And, you know, no longer crying over spilled milk. The Ace of Wands is a new spark, a life. I just want to say Zoe life, you know, the fire within us that begins to burn fresh and anew. The Five of Swords, you have a weapon of the past. You have the memories of the mental afflictions. You can stare it in the face. And yet you can turn around and walk away. Taking those afflictions now as a weapon instead of a wound, instead of a blockage. Moving forward, no longer a block. I'm going to pull from the Enchanted Map deck. Slow and steady. Planets are still in retrograde. Pull from here again. Mountain. I think we've begun to get our motivation, but we still need to strategize. We still need to clear and replenish. Transformation, the Swan Queen, intuition and patience. I want to say just wait until spring. Between now and spring, we are just really doing that deep transformational work within us. And like solidifying our place, our space, you know, from this new change that has like just occurred within us and how we operate now. How we'll operate next without having to be in a rush, right? The hungry ghost, obsession, scarcity, consciousness, and attachments. We're still in this feeble place where we've changed our mind, but now we still have to create new patterns. Archangel Michael is with us. Call upon your angels for help. New beginnings are coming, okay? This is just in reverse because it's to come. The endings all the ending pieces have to be wrapped up, right, before we officially spark it off. I am resourceful. I am sacred. In reverse. So we're dealing with a lot of our knowing our worth still. And I am helpful. I love how that's there, because as a helper, you are not only resourceful, but you are a resource to yourself and to others. Just saw that video of like Snoop Dogg saying, I want to thank my motherfucking self for putting in all the hard work and doing all this shit and all the long hours and, you know, the dedication, and for never giving up and for believing in myself. We're starting a new phase here of believing in ourselves, of really, truly, clearly understanding from the depths of our souls how very sacred we really, really are. The wellspring of resources within us that becomes of aid, of angelic aid to this realm, to this physical realm on this earth. So, have no fear. Regardless of the mountains that may appear, you know, they are an illusion of our old mind. I am sacred. Connected with God or the gods, or dedicated to a religious purpose, and so deserving veneration. What does veneration mean? Great respect and reverence. The traditional reveration of saints. Connected with God or the gods, or dedicated to a religious purpose, and so deserving veneration. Meaning that you deserve veneration because you truly are an extension of source. Sacred rites. Holy, hallowed, blessed, consecrated, sanctified, venerated, revered, blessed. The priest entered this sacred place. Religious rather than secular. Devotion, church, ecclesiastical. These are all synonyms of sacred, embodying the laws or doctrines of a religion. I stray away from religion. However, we all have our religious ways of thinking, our regular practices, and the things that we gravitate toward. And, you know, in all reality, practice makes perfect. So it depends on, you know, what level of what, you know, paradigm shift you know, relate to that word. Regarded with great respect and reverence by a particular group or individual, I would say by spirit. Spirit reveres you. Spirit venerates you. Ooh, I like this one. Another synonym for sacred is sacrosanct. To a police officer, nothing is sacred, it says. Sacrosanct. Synonyms for that. Inviolable, inviolate, invulnerable, untouchable, protected, defender, secure. The hill is sacred to the tribe. I want to look up sacrosanct. Especially of a principal, place, or routine. So to be sacred also is synonymous with sacrosanct. And this is where your religious reverence comes in, I guess, of a place or routine, especially of a place, of a principle, place, or routine regarded as too important or valuable to be interfered with. You are too important and too valuable to spirit to be interfered with. You're sacred. Safety keeps coming up, so I want to look up invulnerable, impossible to harm or damage, impervious, immune. What did we talk about with the essential oils? Immunity. So we want to breathe in that immunity as well as part of our, you know, agreeance with spirit. Indestructible, impenetrable, impregnable, unassailable, invincible, secure, bulletproof. Now I'm going to go into the story that came up because, you know, like I was saying, the oil for the immunity boost is called Thieves with instead of On Guard, it's called Thieves with the other, what is it called? Young Living. And I read a story that was very interesting. So here goes the story. In the 17th century, when all of Europe was in the thrust of the Black Plague, a small band of marauding thieves seemed immune to the disease. They would enter the homes of Black Plague victims and have no fear of touching the bodies as they searched for jewelry and money. The king demanded to know their secret. Their secret had to do with the oils they rubbed on their bodies. Because their family was from a long lineage of apothecaries, they had knowledge about how to use the oils medicinally and prophylactically against disease. The king got the exact formula they were using against Black Plague, and this saved his entire family from the disease. Yeah. So today we look at oils as a pleasant, you know, addition to, you know, the aroma of the air, but the depth And this is what I want you to know about yourself in this season of I believe. I believe in myself more than ever before. I believe that I am more than just a nice touch or accessory, but I believe in the depth of the power within me, right? Not just in the superficial offerings that I have to give, but how sacred I am, that I am actually a valuable resource to the community, to my tribe, right? And with the scarcity consciousness card that came up, it just is evident that we have not really come to the full realization of this, right? So I could keep talking about essential oils because like there's so much information here that is just amazing. One thing that I do want to mention is that the electrical frequency, speaking of Mercury retrograde, Mercury being ruled by this full moon, the ruler of Gemini, the electrical frequencies of essential oils ranges between 52 and 320 megahertz. They have the highest frequency of any substance known to man. Because they are living substances, their frequency is harmonic with the human frequency. When essential oils come into contact with our bodies, the frequency of our bodies become raised to a degree that we become inhospitable hosts to pathogenic organisms, okay? We become, what was that word? We're sacred, we're invulnerable, we're inhospitable hosts to pathogenic organisms, okay? Inviolatable, right? Inviolable. Untouchable, inalienable. And I want to leave you with that today. It was on my mind, on my heart to share. Just the still little guidings and knowings, you know. And on that note, happy Gemini moon to all. Nanu, nanu, my friends, and peace be unto you.